Best Life and Beyond. I almost didn't know what we were called because we're so shocked.
This is no what's happening Wednesday, that's for sure.
No, yeah, it's a sad day because we just got word, and I'm sure you may or may not have heard, that the annual pass program for Disneyland, specifically Disneyland,
Yep.
Has been
Officially canceled.
That's
it. It's over.
Indefinitely. So we
I feel like I just got dumped. That's how it feels.
Yeah. Well, I spoke of this at one point with you about Disneyland being like a broken relationship.
Yeah.
That you just have to kind of let go of and not hold on so tight. But this is kind of unprecedented. We didn't think we would get this news. We'll let you guys start to file.
Although
in here.
some people did expect it, though, I have to say that I've read a lot of comments already of people saying, actually, we did fully expect that, especially with what happened in Japan.
Yeah.
In Tokyo Disneyland, that was one of the things that did happen.
Yeah.
So even though you're saying we didn't expect it, I think that was just because we were looking on the bright side.
Yeah.
But if you actually looked into the numbers and reality and all that really deep, it was kind of expected. I actually said something about it, I don't know, several months ago on my Instagram, and people jumped down my throat for saying it.
Yeah.
I was like, don't be surprised when this happens in California, and then bam. So it's not one of those I told you so moments, but if you really looked into it, it's not the biggest surprise as far as unexpected, but it
goes along with
shocking.
It does go along with how things have been going for Disneyland itself.
Mm-hmm.
It has not been. There just hasn't been a lot of positive things happening as far as Disneyland goes. It just seems like a lot of things have just keep getting taken away, and this is another example of that. But
it definitely feels like another blow. For Disneyland, California.
Yeah.
Somebody just said, at least we have Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
Do we, though?
Well,
jokingly.
They've been, for lack of a better term, they've been vanguards in this situation to me. They've really gone out on a limb to try their best to kind of create a reality that was tough to create, I think, in this time. And so they're to be commended for that. I don't know. We often talk about, how they pulled that off and what legal loophole did they have, and there's a lot of different thoughts on that as far as why people think that happened or why they got away with doing that, and thank goodness they did. It created some really fun times if you look back, and I enjoyed all those events, and I hope that we're able to do those again soon because that was really cool.
I think the big thing for Knott's is that I tried to tell people a lot is that I don't think it was all necessary a legal loophole, but do remember that Knott's and Disneyland have very different reputations to uphold. So I think even if Disneyland was able to do the same things, which they might have, they might not. We'll never get a clear answer for that, or maybe we will, but not right now. I think that it had something to do with the reputation of Disneyland. So, if they were to just open in the middle of the whole pandemic situation, as Disney as a company would take a harder hit than a company like Knott's probably would. So
Disneyland's got a lot more stockholders and things like that to deal with. It's a different. That's true. It's a different entity.
We have to look at the big picture, and that was one of the things that I often thought about. So that being said, we're kind of came on here just to kind of talk about it, to decompress, kind of be emotional support, friends during this, because I think it did kind of, like you said, even though, or I was saying, it's expected, but it still doesn't take away the shock of actually reading it, oh man, it really happened.
It's it's almost like if I can equate it, losing an old relative that maybe somebody who's in their 90s or 100 years old, and that it's towards the end of their lifespan. It's still no different when they're gone. It's still a shock, and it's still a very emotional and terrible thing that happens.
It's quite a blow no matter what. Even if you expect it,
right?
It still is heartbreaking. I know for me, I kind of felt it personally in a weird way. and I know this is going to sound like really maybe cheesy, corny, stupid, whatever, but hey, this is me and I don't really care. If you like it, you don't. I don't really care. For me, I've identified as an annual pass holder my entire life, as long as I was old enough to have one. And for the first time, like reading, like, you're not going to be an annual pass holder anymore.
Right.
It feels kind of like crappy, you know? I don't know. It feels personably crappy, you know what I mean? Like it's
like you said, if your identity is wrapped up in it a little bit, I get that.
And I get it. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm not taking the whole pandemic seriously. It sucks, but this is a separate topic right now. Like, yeah, it was fed into because of that whole situation, and we can be angry at that as well. But the point is for some people, go easy on them and don't ride their don't think that they can't feel all those things at once. You can still feel bad about the pandemic thing, but you can also be sad about this. You can mourn 500 things at once.
That was always a good point you made, because people would get on us about missing Disneyland, and
yeah, you can miss Disneyland and also want to keep people safe and care about.
You can have multiple sets of feelings. You're not just like, this is how I feel about everything. That's a good point.
We are not creatures.
I hate these glasses, but now I can see.
We are not creatures that honestly can just go, you know what, I'm sad today, and that's it.
Yeah.
You can be sad and happy at the same time. I know it's shocking, but you can. So it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things, though, that like we don't know a lot, but we know that it's canceled. It's indefinitely, or for the time being. We don't know a lot. They did say that they are working on a new program as we speak. Right.
So that's good. At least, if we're going to look at the positive side of things, like I preach, like was in my latest video, we have to kind of go along with the fact that, well, they're not saying that's it, we're done. Kent Potrock had said in that letter that they're working on a new program. And I also kind of believe, this is just me personally thinking that, they got to kind of clear the books as far as that money. We're coming up on tax season, and so I think that there's something there. I don't know. I'm not an analyst and I'm not an accountant, but I believe that they probably have to figure out how to deal with that, and that was the only way to deal with it. Now, in a legal sense of things. Again, I don't know. I'm not an expert at that, but that's just me thinking, well, maybe that's the case, and then they're going to rename it, something else for legal purposes, and then streamline it, and then maybe somebody had said that maybe it was, they would narrow it down to a couple of passes as opposed to having all the different tiers, and that there would be stipulations and blackout dates and who knows what. I don't know.
My theory is on looking on the bright side. I'm not thinking that the new program's going to be a bright side. I'm going to be realistic, and I think it's going to be really expensive. I think it's going to be similar to a flex program, and it's not what I want when I pay for a Disneyland annual pass. I've been spoiled all these years.
Right.
So that's my opinion. That's not a bright side for me. The bright side for me of this just means that, okay, you have to go through the worst for it to get open. So I think of it as the good side for me is, okay, that's just one more step of crap we have to deal with before we can get on to it reopening. However it's going to reopen. But now it kind of just assured me it's going to suck. Like, it's going to be very expensive.
Yeah, and, but the thing is...
But at least we get to go.
I think the reality is, kind of like you're saying, is that for Disneyland's...
I'm hot now. I got hot when I talked about that.
I think for Disneyland's purposes, I think that they are foreseeing... the way that they're going to eventually get the thing open. Careful with the table.
Sorry.
The way they foresee getting the thing open is going to be a long, slow road, and that they have to do something with this program before they do that. They can't open up and
that's
then
what
go,
I'm saying. It's like, at least
oh, sorry, APs,
trip on the road,
we don't know what to do with you yet, but get yourself some 4-day passes, and then we'll tell you. I think. Here again, I'm going to show you some silver lining in this. I may or may not be correct, but maybe this means they're getting closer to a plan for opening up, because they have to deal with the APs first. Out of respect, they have to say, hey, you guys have hung on. You guys are dedicated, consumers. Maybe it's them saying we're gonna deal with you guys first because you deserve that.
Well, yeah, that's
And
what
then
I
we're
was
gonna-
saying. Like maybe
right,
it's
and then we're gonna move
yeah,
into
it's
this
gonna not be the best
reopening
thing for
phase,
a while.
right?
Yeah.
And the reopening phase is going to be a long, arduous, rugged, bouncy road.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to be. I wish that it was like, let's just adopt what Florida's doing, but we have to catch up to that. I think is what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm
They're
thinking.
gonna-
Is like at first we have to
it's not gonna be
address
the
the
same road.
problem. It's
Yeah.
like I said, I don't think the solution's going to be better. I know that they want us to think like maybe that's what I mean. Maybe I'm wrong on that count, but my personal opinion is it's going to be similar to a Flex Pass, possibly more expensive because they do have to. There's stuff to worry about. They're a company. At the end of the day, they're a company, and we love that company, and I'll
Yeah.
support them no matter how much it costs. I'm gonna be there to support it and
Because I'm sure
drain my money. So
I'm
trust me,
sure
it's happening.
there's things going on that we know nothing about.
Right.
Legal things, business things, outlooks, plans, and that's
And not
that's-
to mention,
and that's their prerogative.
yeah, and not to
that's,
mention
you
going
know,
off of what he's saying, if it is something we don't know, maybe if we do have to pay a crap ton more money, if it's gonna maybe bring some cast members back, by all
Right.
means, take my money. Like
Right.
I am fine with that. I will gladly pay so that we can have more cast members
Someone's
back.
asking, what is a flex pass?
Oh, okay. So a flex pass, the way that worked is you would buy an annual pass if you were a Disney or like a local to Southern California. You were able to pay for it in payments. But long story short, you would reserve your days, and I think because I never had it, I
You had a
want to
certain
say it
amount of
was
days a
3
month?
days at a time. But you had to use those days before you can book more. Sometimes they were booked up though, so that's where it wasn't the best thing. Oh, it was 2 days. But sometimes it wasn't the best thing because you would get a flex pass, and unless you kind of knew the day you were gonna go, like you're kind of married to it. Whereas we're annual passes, and what we had is we could show up any day of the year, and that was it.
If we had the
We
proper,
we also had payment plans. Like that was another fun thing that we had as locals. I don't think we're gonna get payment plans. I think all of that is gonna go away. So I don't read the whole like, we're coming up with something better. Like you're coming up with something better to help pay for the company, and that's fabulous. But the silver lining for me is
Yeah.
that hey, it's a step towards opening, in my
Right.
opinion.
Yeah,
So there you go.
we have to strip ourselves of our old thought patterns about
Yep.
being APs, and we have to be cognizant of the fact that, like you just said, getting the gates open on the smallest level is the first goal, and
Yep.
and because that is clearly been the toughest thing to approach. There was a couple of
Oh, sorry, I'm behind on super chats.
get
Sorry.
a couple of these super chats and respect the folks here. But yeah, I just think that, I think there you go.
Okay. Mickey K sent, or I hope I'm saying your name right, sends $5 and says,
Yeah.
makes me sad because we moved down here 2 years ago for work, but we were closer to the park so we could get passes and go often. I
Right.
apologize for that. That makes me
We
sad.
feel you there.
As locals to Disneyland, we understand that pain.
Yeah.
It's going to be gone for us too, which is why we're going to probably think about, things in the future, because we got to take this day by day, but we
Yeah.
have to, that is an eye opener for us.
Yeah,
as,
it throws a new consideration into a lot of future decisions for us.
especially because this is our business,
Correct.
as well as our happy place. And I think if
Well,
we
for us, it's tough because while it's our business, it's our way of life that we enjoy.
Yeah,
and
it's
we've,
like your
we've been able
passion.
to turn that into a business and do what we love, which is a blessing to be able to do what you love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think any artist would understand that. And so
But it's also just like you said, it's what makes you actually happy.
Well,
and
yeah,
if
it's-
2020's taught us anything, don't sit around for like an entire year being miserable.
yeah,
You have one life. Wouldn't you regret if that 1 year, if you had the foresight to know that that was going to be your last year?
Yeah.
Would you really have gone like, dang, I should have made myself happy in that year? If that movie Soul taught us
I was just
anything,
gonna
if
say.
that taught you anything,
Don't spoil
take
it for
it
people,
granted.
but if you haven't watched Soul yet, we highly recommend you go watch Soul. It's a great movie. We watched it in 2 parts because we were falling asleep. It was late one night, but there's a little bit of a theme there and a message there that relates to that a little bit without spoiling it. I think there was a few more.
I know, that's why I was letting you finish your sentence though.
I am done.
Okay. So yeah, that's the whole thing is don't take your life for granted. So if moving to be closer somewhere else or doing something else would make you and your family happier, we support you, because I don't think that sitting around being miserable or not being your happiest, even if you're not miserable, be your happiest self, because you have one life. You're not promised tomorrow.
Yeah, we're literally, I was going to say tomorrow isn't a guarantee.
Must be that milk tea.
Well, I'm not drinking that. I'm just drinking coffee myself.
Philip Meets Disney sends $2 and says, will you go to Disneyland when they reopen? Of course, if we're able to, we will. Brian California sends $5 and says, honestly,
Thanks,
I
Brian.
think they're going to go with a monthly membership somewhat similar to Six Flags. Gym style membership where it's continuous, not annual. That's not a bad thought.
That's cool.
I like that.
idea.
Let's put that into the universe.
Yeah, I need to work out a little bit.
Angelica sends $5 and says, I feel you guys, I'm super devastated, but I'm hopeful that they're going to come up with something for us. I'm trying to be positive. I think you're doing a good call, and I know they're going to come up with something for us, like especially annual pass holders being a majority of their revenue here.
We got to treat it like, when they take your favorite attraction out and replace it with something else. Like they took out Country Bear Jamboree, right? Devastated. Loved that attraction. But they put in Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. And they homage the Country Bears by putting a couple of the, Buff and
they didn't get rid of it over in Florida. So you still have it on a Disney property. It works out well.
Disney's kind of known for doing that.
Yes,
so I'm hoping that goes along in this thing.
Dina, I hope I'm saying that right. Bowers sends $5 and says, I'm a Patreon, but here's something for your trip. Thank you. I believe that Walt is watching over his dream. Positivity, best life and beyond. You taught me that.
Thank you.
That's a really, really good
awesome
thing to say and very true.
Thank you, Dina.
Jeff Kelly sends $20 and says, sad news for all SoCal residents. You and all the Disney vloggers, here's something for the Florida Vlog Fund.
Thank you.
The FVF, I love that. Keep that positivity. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
And it really is, because this means that the ball is rolling at least.
Right.
That's why I'm saying, I don't think we're going to like the plan. I really don't. That's just me being, realistic.
All right, you have that
but
right.
I am optimistic that it's just getting the ball rolling.
And whereas
That's
I feel like they're going to come up with something good. So
we're different in that.
We at least we can kind of cover the spectrum.
And maybe I'll change. Disney Adventure Vlog sends $2 and says, do you think we might get a full refund? Yes, you're getting your refund, but they have a special calculation for that. You can go on their website, and it explains how they are giving their refunds. There's actually a formula for it based on if you did monthly payments, what was used, what wasn't used.
Yeah.
So you have to look at their website
kind
for that.
Everybody's
is different. It's completely different. So they have a worksheet for that, so you can figure it out based on your separate needs.
Right.
Jay Nova sends $10 and says, enjoy a guacamole at San Angel Inn at Mexico Pavilion. Why, thank you. I love Grand Fiesta Tour. My first ride every trip. $99 SoCal resident is my prediction. That could happen too. That very well. Maybe it'll be something even better than what we had, because there's not going to be a lot of people coming.
Optimist. Hey,
there you
look
go.
at you.
I mean, I'm still optimistic though that this is a good sign, because it's getting us going somewhere.
Yeah.
Ryan Shannon sends $20 and says, I've been an annual pass holder for 2 years. Do you think the parks can open at 25% capacity by summer? What month are we in? February, March, April, May, June,
We're not
July,
Feb yet.
August.
We're still in Jan.
I think that should be at more than 25% by then, in my opinion, because Florida is at a lot more capacity and doing just fine. And now that we've had the vaccine starting to roll out, I see no reason why it shouldn't be even higher by then. I think it's actually going slower than it should, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And again, I'm basing that on somebody who's been to Florida and seen the success there.
Right.
Matthew Miranda sends $10 and says they shouldn't have announced this till they had a new program launched. None of us were going anytime soon anyways. They were slowly pushing annual passes out for the last few years anyways. So that's where my thought comes in, Matthew, is that I think that it's because they're the ball's rolling quicker than they thought.
So
Do you
they
know
had
what
to
I'm
get
saying?
this information out.
So they had to get it
Right.
out quicker. So while I think they would have preferred also to do what you said, to announce the new program at the same time,
They had an obligation.
I think it was like, okay, shoot, we got to get this out first. And that's why I'm saying, that's why I feel so strongly about.
Yeah, they're very calculated in there.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think that came as a surprise, like, oh, dang, the vaccine's coming out. It's doing better than we thought. They know more than we do. So
They've probably known this information for quite some time.
I think this means that we're going to have a sooner opening than we think, personally.
Right.
Tatum sends $5.
Hey,
Hi,
Tatum.
Tatum. And says, sorry, guys, I just got here late. Are you guys moving to Florida? We don't know for sure.
We don't know what we're
It's
doing.
something we will definitely take a look
Yeah.
at. Brent sends $5 and says, my uncle, who's worked at Disneyland for 45 years, just passed away from the virus. And
So sorry.
he loved all his relationships with the pass holders, and we loved him. I can guarantee
Yeah.
that, and I'm very sorry.
Yeah, there is a special relationship with the cast members and pass
Oh, yeah.
holders, and
100%.
that we all occupy that space a lot together.
Dahi, it's Dahie, sends $5 and
Nice.
says, what do you think they are going to do for people who bought day tickets last year and never got to use? I think at a certain time they'll be able to use them again.
Yeah.
But it's just when they develop the new timeline for how they're going to do things and who's going to get what, I think that's when they will allow those to be
But I
used. They
think
don't
they'll-
expire, though.
Yeah, they don't expire, and I think they will get some sort of priority for sure.
Possibly. I don't know about that.
No, but when I
disagree.
say priority, I mean they're going to be considered because they've already purchased.
They'll be
these
considered,
tickets.
but yeah, I don't think they'll have like a priority of
No,
like,
I'm not
oh, you
saying
can use that
a
first.
specific priority. I'm saying a priority in
Oh.
general. Like they will be considered. I shouldn't
Oh,
use
okay.
that word.
Yeah.
But
Different word.
Yeah.
Different word. Disney Adventure Vlog sends $5 and says, I've been an annual pass since my father passed away back in 2010. 2010. I have old Disneyland footage, which I will be posting on my channel. That is
Oh, cool.
awesome.
Look forward to that.
Brian California also says, do you think they are just doing this to make more on merch until the park reopens? No pass means no discounts at World of Disney. I don't. I don't think it has
there was
anything to do
something
with
in there
that.
though that said they were still honoring those discounts.
Yeah, they'll still honor it.
Yeah, so I
I
don't
think
think that's the
until
case.
February or something.
And then there was a thing about next year starting in January, or was it this year? I think there was something about that I read about that they were still honoring that. By
Yeah,
the way.
they are still honoring it until February 25th. Thank
was
you
it.
for Courtney. I believe Courtney said that.
Yeah.
As well as a few other people. Abby sends $10 and says, enjoy coffee on me. Don't know why Disneyland can't reopen with retail storage, large capabilities, and can't open people or even social distancing there. Abby, I completely agree with you, but I think it shouldn't just be opening with dining and shopping. I think if you're going to put that much into it, the rides make absolutely no difference after that. So
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I think there's no reason, especially, again, I'm throwing it to Florida, if they can, what is the point, especially when you were at Knott's, didn't a lot of you guys probably asked yourself this, what would be the difference if we were just to go on a ride right
Yeah.
now? What's the difference at
Yeah,
that point? If
yeah.
you're going to have shopping and dining, there is literally no difference.
Yeah,
You have a
'cause-
mask on.
Because I've been to Knott's when there's been like a quarter of the people that were there for those events on a fully operating day.
Right.
And I think the other thing about Disneyland opening with a shopping district, the only reason I think another reason, one of the many reasons maybe they didn't do that was because of operating costs. When you're talking about how many cast members, how much overhead as far as electricity and water and all those types of things didn't add up as far as the math, as far as what they have open now is probably the biggest footprint that they can open and still make a little bit of profit for the company. That's just
But
my
yeah,
guess.
there's literally no difference if you were to like have a ride, wipe it down, put the little
Well,
even
yeah,
if you
we've
didn't,
talked
let's
about
just
that.
say even if you didn't wipe the ride vehicles down and you had everybody sanitize their hands, there's no difference. Like you're
Yeah.
at higher risk sitting down eating. You're at higher risk
We know
not
that, but
only
that's-
for
yeah.
giving germs or whatnot, but for cardiovascular. Like
Yeah.
you're just letting people eat and shop. Like
I know, but that's a different argument for.
But that's my point, though, is like, so I agree with that. Like, just open it up already. Like, let's go. It's really like that's my opinion on it, though.
Yeah.
Just because look at how successful it is in Florida. It's been fantastic there. Kimberly Andrews sends $5 and says, so sad but understandable with the pandemic, and I agree, the ball is rolling. Love you guys. See, I love that.
Oh, Matthew Gerard just said it right there. Current active AP holders will get a 30% discount Mondays through Thursdays from January 18th through February 25th.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you,
Matthew.
TD Hunt, and again, if anybody does say these things, sometimes we miss them, and we're just going off of what we see. TD Hunt says $20 and says, have a great time at Walt Disney
thank
World.
you.
Love you. Well, thank you. We'll make sure we use that at Walt Disney World.
Yes.
Catherine Siegel, I hope I said
that
your
sounds
name
right.
right, sends $45. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat.
And says, love you guys so much.
Kathleen.
Keep living your best. Oh, Kathleen, I'm
Yes.
so sorry. Love you guys. You know what? It's because the orange is over your hat, and that's what messed me up. Living your best life. I'm so happy to see that spark of happiness in you guys. But best be from Walt Disney World. What are the chances you film some more in Florida? We definitely plan to film more in Florida.
Yeah.
That is why this trip, we do not even have a return flight scheduled, because we're not just doing Disney. We are going to expand our horizons.
Who knows where we'll end up?
In the Florida sunset.
You never know. We might get a car and start driving somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Who knows? We don't know. But
we are open.
our book is open.
Yes.
Peter sends $10 and says, can't wait to see you guys on a hot air balloon at Disney Springs. That is so not happening with
That's
me.
Katie's first thing she wants
No,
to do.
absolutely
Just
not.
she's got high hopes.
You're
Get
lucky
it?
the Skyliner's
She's
happening.
got high hopes.
Philip Meets Disney sends $2 and says, what about pass holders that had both coasts? Those are also going to be discontinued.
Yeah.
Blakely Olson sends $5 and says,
Thank you, Blakely.
as beep as this may be, I agree with Katie. I think we are closer to opening a clean slate. Disneyland loves their APs. Stay positive, guys. I
Right.
completely agree.
We've
It's
been-
going to suck. It's going to suck.
But they had to address the issue because I think, to be fair, APs have been asking for a long time, and we've gotten that question a lot. What are they going to do with APs? What's going to happen? And the fact that they made a decision, like you said,
we got an answer.
we got an answer. What does that answer mean? It sounds bad, but maybe it just sounds bad now because we don't know the outcome, because they said they're working on other stuff. We just don't know what it is. So we all tend to speculate the negative on that, like I talked about in my video, and why we tend to go to the negative out of defense.
Mine's going negative though out of the reality of the economy. So I think that the new program is not going to be something we like, but
And it's just sad. It's just a
we're
sad
getting
thing
there.
because it closes a door on a time frame and kind of a way of thinking and a way of life, and we're forced to open a new door, because when one door closes, another opens, and so it's a little scary to say goodbye to something
Sure.
and to say hello to something new and hope that maybe you like this new thing or this, you know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, Victor's in here. Good.
Victor!
Victor's one of our moderators in our chat, so if there's anything inappropriate or anything, he's able to get rid of it. Just let him know.
Yeah.
We're still getting used to that, by the way, but he has a little wrench by his name,
Yeah.
so he can still interact with you, but let Victor know. And then sometimes, and I know Jason didn't know we were going live, but Jason's also one of our moderators.
Correct.
So
He might be working
if there's
right now.
somebody spamming or saying something really inappropriate, he's going to keep his eye out.
And
And
Victor
he
is
can,
very
get rid
knowledgeable
of it.
about Best Life and Beyond. He's been there since before this channel started. So if you have any questions that we maybe don't answer, maybe Victor can answer those.
Yeah, so thank you, Victor.
And it's appropriate that he has a wrench by his name, because he fixes things and he's a doer. He keeps people safe. He's an amazing human being. I love Victor. He's my brother.
He's
actually.
one of our guardian angels.
He's my brother from another mother. I know that's a really,
Yes, Victor is the firefighter.
Yes, and he's my brother. Love
Here
you,
in
Vic.
the dumpster fire that is California.
Yeah, and he has a lovely wife named Megan, who we miss dearly.
Yes, I say that though as a joke, obviously, but I've said it multiple times. It feels like it's just terrible here in California, not just because of Disneyland or theme parks, but because we've had fires, we've had windstorms, we've had people going out of business, and homelessness has increased. So we
Cats
say
and dogs
that
living
it's
together.
just been craziness. So it's not just Disneyland when we talk about California. It's a very different state than it was 3 years ago. Even
Yeah.
it was very different. We
What do you
have
think-
great weather.
What do you
but-
think they'll call it? Does anybody have any ideas of what? Because obviously, technically, they're not going to call it an annual pass anymore. Maybe they're going to call it. What are they going to call
I
it?
don't know. I
You know
think
what I
it's
mean?
like I said. I think it's going to be very similar to a flex pass.
Right,
So
but-
I don't think we're going to have any pass. I think it'll be Like maybe they hinted when they said membership.
Oh, Disney membership. Oh,
But again,
okay.
I don't think that's going to happen for a while, though. I think it's going to be quite some time. We're going to have to pay a lot if we want
Millionaire Pass.
Yeah, it's going to cost a lot, too. And again, when I say it's going to cost and we're not going to like it, I just mean because, it sucks to have to pay a lot of money, but I know my money's going into a company that houses cast members, and if there's one thing I love more than food and animals, I love Disneyland and Disney cast members in general. They are the best in the world. Ask any employee.
Yeah.
They are, or anybody they are just the best. They love their jobs. Oh, they're the
Gina's
best.
asking about the 3 Ps: perspective, positivity, and patience. Patience wasn't one of my 3 Ps. It's a very good P, but mine was persistence. But patience, to see what.
Oh, it was your hand. I was like, what's touching me?
But I like that, Gina. Patience should be applied to this situation because we got to leave it up to the powers that be to figure out what they want to do.
Yep.
And also in reference to that, we are being positive and we are being having perspective. That's why we're on here right now.
Yeah, that's why you're also able to feel multiple things though with it.
Yeah,
though. Like
but,
you can still be like, dang it, I missed this, but hey, this is
right.
really good.
The positivity that comes out of it, it still can you could still occupy some sadness about something going away that you cared about deeply or it was a major part of your life. But we're trying to look forward in a positive way, saying that there is going to be a new program, and whatever it is, we would love to be involved in it. And we kind of give our patience to them, and like, okay, well, we're in your good hands, and the archetypes of this program can figure out what to do, and we trust that they're going to do the right thing.
And a few questions were, do you think that, and I don't know who asked this specifically, but somebody said, do you think that it's going to be similar to a park reservation and situation like they have in Florida? While I would like to hope that, I don't think maybe it could, but they also have annual pass. So they have they have ticket holders, resort holders, or resort guests and annual pass holders all able to make reservations based on availability, and it's a separate thing. We don't have resorts anymore, and we don't have annual
Tickets.
passes now. All we would possibly have right now is ticket holders, so that's why I think it might look a little bit different. They could probably take the bone structure of what that is, where they can...
The bone structure.
Well, yeah, like where they can go, okay, you can reserve so many at a time based on if you're this, this, and this. So it could be that. Now, a couple of questions also were about vaccination proof. If that's something that... I don't know. It's too hard to make that call.
I think that's something that we would see applied to something else before it happens at a Disney park. I would imagine that you would see that if that becomes a thing in society, you're going to see it applied somewhere else before you see it applied at a theme park. Not to say it's not.
You never know though,
possible.
because Disney is kind of like a pioneer of things.
That's true.
So they think of things before many other places do. So it is a possibility. Like I hear what you're saying there.
I see what you mean though. You're right.
You're looking from the theme park aspect, but Disney is more than a theme park. They're past that. So now that's another question. Somebody just said, can they? Mariah said, can they actually do that? I think in this world, and especially in this state, anything can happen. Yeah. California has shocked me.
It's their property to do what they want with as far as the rules.
Would we have ever thought it would be closed for almost an entire year and maybe longer?
No, I would have laughed in your face.
Right. And so could they actually require a vaccination? Sure. Could
they require you to name a Disney character to get in? They could do anything they want.
Pretty much. Now, again, here's the thing. We're not saying, for anybody that's questioning the vaccination thing, you could say, oh, okay, let's just say, hypothetically, let's pretend, okay, we are Disneyland and we are requiring vaccinations for everybody. Well, here's the first little caveat of that. Not everybody can get the vaccine. There are people that cannot actually get the vaccine for health reasons, religious reasons, whatever reasons there are, because that's just the way the world works anyway. So you would obviously have some medical clearance there or some religious clearance, whatever. So I'm sure you would just need to show proof if that is the case. So don't get yourself too upset about it. I'm sure there's some sort of layers that will be figured out if that becomes the case. I'm a little bit behind on Super Chat, so I'm going to catch up with those real quick.
Patrick's sleeping off a big hangover, guys. He had such a fun time last night searching for his pot of gold. I think he's still asleep.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I haven't let him know about the news yet. So.
Okay, Disney Queen sends $5 and says, I wonder how this will affect booking hotels. Because I get an annual pass discount rate, not being or being an out-of-state annual pass. That is something they're going to have to figure out, but I don't think you're going to need a discount when those parks open.
Yeah.
Because I think they're also looking at the availability of what will, like, let's just say hypothetically they opened in October, right? There's still at that point going to be people that still need to get vaccinated. There's people that are financially recovering from this, because not only did this affect people's lives, it affected their livelihoods. So I don't think we're going to be seeing those types of prices for the hotels. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, and it could be triple what it used to be.
Yeah.
But my opinion is I don't think you're going to need an annual pass discount, because I don't think it's going to cost that much. That's just my opinion on that matter. Steve Hall sends $10 and says, I think it will be like the D23 membership. You pay either a monthly or yearly subscription, and you will get merch and dining discounts, Disneyland and Shop and Disney, and discounted park tickets. That very well could be.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible. Sherry sends $5 and says, my friends and I went ahead and went to Florida. I would love for you to visit the Universal there. We plan to. Hopefully things calm down with the vaccinations.
Yeah.
Very much hoping so, and we definitely will. Congrats on making it to Florida. Michael Morrow sends $5 and says, oh, if we had a fine outlook on this from a fine Irish friend.
Michael Morrow. It's like paging Mr. Morrow.
Kristen...
I'm sure we'll get his take on it at some point. Not today, though. Kristen
Chavez sends $2, says, Ola from Arizona, you guys are awesome. Thank you. The Big Avocado sends $15 and says, as a 35-plus annual pass holder, I'm heartbroken. However, Spencer's PPP vlog made me rethink about the mindset. Katie, I agree the premium may offer maybe a higher price for less value. Love you both. Caprice.
That's a good point, Caprice.
Very true.
Yeah, we kind of feel the same way.
That's what she said. She said she agrees with us.
All right. Hi,
You're like, yeah, we actually feel that the exact same way. Michelle Davidson sends $5 and says, love your videos of Walt Disney World. The videos give my boyfriend and I a little glimpse of what to look forward to when we go. Thank you for the updates. Good. That's good. It's exciting. Andrea sends $8 and says, hi from Australia. I should have been there twice in 2020. Hoping they still honor my tickets I bought. They should honor your tickets.
Yeah.
Those don't have like an expiration. They still hold their value.
Yeah.
Mickey sends $5 and says, went back and read the AP email they sent. They are honoring the discount program,
right.
30% until February 25th.
Which is great.
So that's good news all around for that. So,
yeah.
We're just, there's good things and bad things. I think the major thing we can take out of this, though, is that the ball is rolling. Something happened. Wouldn't you rather have some news that maybe you didn't prefer it, rather than them not saying anything? Do you know what I mean? Like, I would so much rather that.
Yeah, because people have been
Give me an answer.
People have been up in arms about it. Like, what's the deal? Like, they haven't said anything. What's going to happen? I get that question a lot. What is going to happen with their AP? What are they doing? And I feel like that's
a step.
Well, this is their way of honoring the APs and saying, look, we're going to give you an answer as soon as we know. And I think this was as soon as they could give that answer.
Right.
And like you said, this means that there's other announcements that are going to be made, that they have a vision of a timeline.
Now,
And
here's another thing.
This is part of that timeline.
Yeah, another part of it, though, could mean that annual passes are getting ready to go on sale in Florida.
Right.
Because they would need to announce what's happening at Disneyland first, so that nobody goes, well, I'm going to hold out for a premier pass, because that's not going to exist anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's another good sign for those in Florida.
That makes sense.
You have to kind of cover your bases first, because you can't just go, oh, well, you know what? We're going to just start selling APs in Florida and not even mention what's going on here.
That's a good point about the Premier Pass, because they can't make any announcements regarding that without having explained it to the people who out here
Right. You
who
got
are
clearly
this part of the Premier Pass, because then they're going to go nuts. I get
You
it.
can't get a Premier
makes a lot
Pass
of
at
sense.
all. There is no Premier Pass anymore.
Right.
As of right now, it's done.
So that's going to be probably the next announcement.
Yeah, it very well could be.
Yeah.
It might not. They might reevaluate in Florida too and go, you know what? Maybe we're not going to do annual passes for a while too. Maybe we're going to adopt the system.
Oh yeah, somebody said something about
It could be wrong.
no more
I don't know.
no more AP merch. Yeah, that's likely. And what AP merch you have, hold on tight to it, because now it's a collector's item.
Yep. I mean, but maybe in 5 years, annual passes will come back. We don't know. Maybe this is like. This was the best thing that ever happened.
Hey, look how many times the Main Street Electrical Parade came back, you guys. Remember, going away forever, and then like 2 years later, it's coming back, and then going away, glowing away forever. Sorry, that was the way that they put it.
Right,
but,
like things. Things could happen. So we just don't know what's going to happen. They may do. Somebody said maybe they'll offer discounted multi-day tickets. That could be good. That could happen too. Again, they may look at Florida and change stuff too. This may be just the beginning of a whole thing. Because remember, Disney is one company. We were talking about this earlier, where it's like Disney is the main company, but like each park kind of has its own thing and their rules based on their city,
what
state, government.
Yeah.
It's all different there.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen, but I wouldn't be worried about Disney World now. I think they're going to hang on for a little bit longer, and they're probably also reevaluating on. I think Disney as a company is reevaluating on each park separately based on everything. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. We don't know what's going to happen, but. Like I said, this is a thing that means that the ball is rolling. Like, it's rolling.
Yeah.
We got an answer. We know now what to expect. Okay, we're not going to have annual passes. Yeah, it wasn't the answer I wanted. I would have loved to have been like, hey, you're still going to have your annual pass, but you're going to have to use... Here's another thing, too. Let's also hypothetically say, okay, they didn't do this move, and they said, hey, you guys are going to get to keep your annual pass, right? But then they're going to tell you, well, it's going to be used kind of similar to like a flex pass where you have to make a reservation to use it. Is that even the value of what you're paying for? Wouldn't people be pissed?
Well, yeah, because then it's not an annual pass.
People would be
different.
so mad.
So you're right, because therefore...
Right, I'm paying $1,800 for what? Wait, 1,800, is that how you say it? 1,800?
$1,800, yeah.
Whatever, however much it costs. Let's say it costs $1,500.
Yeah.
I'm paying $1,500 for what? Like to have to make reservations?
That's why they have to...
That's why we're called annual a-holes, because we expect and we get such a good value here,
Yeah.
So how mad would you be? So I would rather them get rid of that entire program,
because it's not going to
new.
Yeah, it's not going to be...
Capacity is going to be different.
Yeah, you can't call it
What's
an
your
AP if it's
value
not going to
gonna
get
be?
treated like an AP. You can't call it that. So it makes sense that they're going, we're not doing that right now. We're going to do something else because it looks and tastes like nothing that was.
Right. And what's your value going to be too? You also have to understand the value. Disney's very good at looking at their value. Some people would argue and say, oh, they charge so much to go in there. I'm sorry, but that's just your opinion. Disneyland is the most amazing place for what they offer.
Yeah.
Let's just say one park day ticket is $120. I would pay $300 because Disneyland offers first class world amazing entertainment. You get the magic, the positivity. You get cast members. I would pay $100 to get into that park. You will never price me out of Disney. Ever, 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 ever. I will live in a box and eat top ramen before I will get priced out of Disney.
Chelsea Bennett says, at least they're not trying to just take your money and limit your park experience. Right.
Exactly. That's the complete reason they're doing. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to look at the value of what they're able to offer. You're able to offer, maybe 50% park capacity. You're going to have to be spaced out on rides. You're not going to get fireworks for a couple of years. So why are we going to offer you this? Why are we going to charge you the same amount if we're not able to offer you the same value? Right. So I think they're actually doing us a solid by looking at like, hey, okay, so that's what that's going to be. Okay, that makes up for that price. I could say $500. And they're probably also looking at inflation and the fact that they have to provide for these cast members, because if
Yeah.
you want Disneyland to be open, you need to have those amazing magical cast members that make it so wonderful.
Yeah.
So they also have to repay for their training. They have to like OSHA certify. They also are going to need benefits even more than they probably previously did, because there's a freaking pandemic.
Yeah.
Whether you were affected or not, you're still going to have to pay for those people that did survive it. Some of them have underlying conditions that they're still dealing with, but maybe they're able to work, but maybe I need to get some sort of physical therapy because my lungs went through so much. We don't know. So
Right.
even more reason why it might cost us a little more. Maybe it's not going to be that same value, but it's also a cost based on our wonderful, cast members. So it's things like that that I'm starting to think about, on the wide scale, based on what's going to happen. But I think they are thinking about that. And it's very easy to get trigger happy and be like, dang it, no annual pass, this sucks, da 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 da. It's like, dude, the ball's rolling. Like,
Right.
things are happening. We know an answer now. So share that with people when you do talk to them. If you agree with me, I think we need to start spreading that as opposed to, oh man, this sucks, it's terrible, because it's very easy to do that. Very easy, instead of going like, hey, you know what, like, we're gonna figure something else out. But Premier Pass does affect Walt Disney World though, so they do not have that pass anymore. So technically, Walt Disney World got a pass canceled.
Yeah.
I just thought about that.
Because there is some details about it here.
Yeah, that's the worksheet I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay.
So there's a worksheet that you can look at if you want to figure out what is going to kind of be your refund based on prorated, all those things. So there's those
Usable value.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's stuff to look at there. If you go to the actual Disneyland website and type in annual passes, they'll give you a link to that. And it's pretty easy. For me, I paid for my pass. I think I was paying for my mom's and Kaylee's. So I don't know. We did just read though that Premier passes will be active through March 31st of 2021. So if you do have a Premier pass, that's the thing that we're looking at right now. Spencer just Googled that.
Yeah.
Stefan sends $10 and says, hi guys, is it possible that this is just a way to keep better line of sight on crowds? If individual ticket sales give them a better idea of incoming crowds? If so, could this be under a year of no APs? Yeah, that's also a big possibility. Is that, just kind of what I was talking about with like the whole value thing, is that maybe this is just a way to better track admission. It very well could be. Or like, hey, this is how we can better limit, because again, if I have an annual pass and I have no blockout days, and you have a major group of signature pass holders, Premier pass holders, and signature plus pass holders, they're not going to get their value, because if you're having a limited amount, even if it's 75%,
they're not going to be able to
admission,
provide that.
You're not going to be able to provide that value.
Right.
So why would they do that?
Yeah.
They have to think about how to reevaluate it in general.
Right.
The Farrow family sends $5 and says, hopefully it will be something worth the value. Maybe people can get in at least once a week, once per month. People in Florida go whenever park spots are open. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Keith sends $5 and says, me and my family are planning our trip in April for a month. My mother-in-law is a cast member at DCA. Hope to meet you guys sometime.
Oh, that would be so cool, Keith.
Be fantastic. Gina sends $5 and says, iced coffee on me. Thank you. Cheers to that.
Cheers. My coffee's almost iced now. It's been sitting here for a while.
Yeah, I like mine when it like gets cool, like it cools off and gets cold.
It's funny. I love iced coffee, but when I'm drinking hot coffee that gets cold,
He hates it.
I don't like it. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, he hates
Makes no
it.
sense.
I like it like that.
If
I love
it's
that it gets
intended
cold.
to be iced coffee, I'm a fan. If it is warm coffee that got cold, not a fan. Just me.
Oh, that was a good comment. Well, also potentially having more flexible tiers for those who don't necessarily consider themselves park regulars. Exactly. So I think they're working out a program based on, like, I think it'll actually be better based on the value and everything going on. Like, it just makes more sense to me. Look at this. I just thought about, I wanted to share that with you guys. This is my milk tea that I get from Tokyo Central. and they did this like Disney line, and I just, doesn't that make you so happy right now? I love it. I love it. Will you go to Downtown Disney soon? Yes, we will eventually go to Downtown Disney.
Enchanted Nomads, same way. Yes, thank you. Same with Ruthie, same way.
That's why they make those cups that actually like help keep your coffee hot. So you know, it depends on the person. So, but anyway, so I don't know. That's all. You know, that's all we could say is like it just depends. And I want you to try to focus on the good things because you know. We want to support you mentally. Let's read some of your comments to see how you're feeling.
Manny Rizzo, I'm glad they are canceling the pass. Hopefully the parks won't be as crowded as they used to be.
Hey, that's another positive.
There's a positive angle.
That's very true because there's been times where because Disneyland is a lot smaller than Walt Disney World, oh my gosh, it can get bad. You know a person that works at Disneyland or worked, probably. Feeling great, don't care about the changes, doesn't affect my life, says Lady Jasmine. Thank you for using a level head and looking at all aspects of how this touched many areas. I'm also thinking it's something like a flex pass.
That was from Christina Hines.
What happens to the current pass holders that are having the extension? So that's also on that worksheet, so I would definitely go look at that on the website, and then that'll kind of explain, because I think they listed every scenario, and it makes more sense that way. I feel like canceling AP makes it more fair to out-of-state vacationers. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, that's where it makes us say that we're going to have to think about reevaluation because, you know, we do have family here, so that's a big factor. But we do also have this as our livelihood, but then it's also our happy place. And like, that's where we met. Like, that's what we love doing together. And if that freedom isn't there, I mean, we do have to think about that. We have to take it seriously, just as serious as like, you know, our family's here. So, you know, it is something that we have to look at though. Again, because you only do get one life. It's like, even if it's 6 months, like if you can change it, and do something that'll make you happy, why not?
Yeah.
Did you see all the Disney-related people and messages in Seoul? There's a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs. Saw the Luxo lamp and, you know.
There's a partner statue in there.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're not trying to freak out about this whole thing, but we are just going like, okay, like, taking the good parts of it, taking the bad parts of it, or stuff that we probably wouldn't have preferred. But I think if anything, it's helping us to make a decision.
Yeah, at least there's
I'd rather know.
Like Katie said before, there's some movement instead of just being kind of in the dark about this. Something had to give, and there you go. You know, but again, in an optimist view, one door closes, another door opens up.
Right, and maybe it's a better door. Maybe it's something we just didn't realize we wanted.
One thing gets taken away and you get something else. And so...
Because let's be real, if Disneyland wasn't closed for this long, would we have even gotten to Florida when we did? Probably not.
I don't think we would have. And
we weren't in a rush to get there.
And then also to the sentiment of, remember for a while we were like, yeah, but do we want to go to Walt Disney World during these times when it's so different and the way that there's a less of a capacity and there's all these restrictions and then there's these things in place and masks and all that stuff. And I firmly for a while was like, yeah, no, I want to experience it in its pure state. But I have to say, I'm so glad we went regardless of all of that. Mm-hmm. And I think the silver lining of that is that it was at a lesser capacity, because I've heard some stories about the line.
It's like Disneyland.
I heard that the lines are even longer at Magic Kingdom and some of those places at certain times. Like, we're talking 3-hour waits for things, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, we've had those at Disneyland.
Well, we have, but they're...
Try rocket rods. Mm.
Well, yeah, and
I sat in those 3-hour long lines.
You know, Rise of the Resistance, you know, things like
18
that.
hours?
Well, yeah, but that was the first day. But
yeah, like Flight of Passage, though, yeah.
So again, you have to look at the lighter side of it, the brighter side of it, the silver lining, the Pollyanna vibe, and let's not Eeyore this too much because it's too easy to Eeyore. It really is. And
at least we have an answer. We know what's
Yeah.
happening. We
and,
don't even
and you
know
gotta
all
kind
of
of
what's
you gotta
happening.
kind of digest it and swallow it and be like, well, that's it, because any kind of negativity towards it, you're allowed to have it, but what is that going to do for you? Because this is the reality. You got to kind of digest the reality and move and keep moving. You can't just sit around. Even Walt said that you can't just sit around waiting for people to tell you things. You got to keep progressing, keep moving,
Right.
and that's what we're going to do.
And I'm actually really thankful this came on the heels of us saying that we're going back to Florida, because it kind of makes it a little better in not just for us because we get to go, but because
Yeah.
we get to be like, oh yay, we get to kind of cheer you guys up. Because regardless, no matter how much you do look at the positive side of this and go, well, okay, it means the ball's rolling, it means something better is going to happen, it means that we're closer to opening up.
Yeah.
It still sucks, it still hurts, because you're getting rid of something so feel valid that you're upset about it. If you are sad about it, if you're frustrated, do know that your thoughts and feelings of that are 100% valid, and we also share that feeling. Like, I kind of cried a little bit because I feel like some of again, I know it sounds nerdy, but I feel like some of my my identity was that I'm an annual pass holder at Disneyland. I took such pride in it. I have annual pass holder magnets and stickers and merchandise, and I've been an annual pass holder my entire life, whereas you haven't been an annual pass holder your entire life. So I always felt like, I felt so much pride in that, and it's like that got ripped away from me today, and it sucks. So
Yeah.
Even if you were an annual pass holder for a year or two, but like it was a big part of your life, then like feel okay to be upset. Like, you are okay to be sad and upset. Like, we get it. It's better to feel it and sit in those feelings than to deny that they exist. Just like, I always I honestly delete people off of my Instagram, wherever it may be. If I post, I'm really sad about Disneyland not being open, and they come up, people are dying, it's like, dude, get out of here. Like, let me feel the way I want to feel. And you're acting like I have no do you think I'm just a wall that I can only care about one thing at a time? Really?
Yeah. Do you think we're not
Like, I
tripping
don't
out?
have
Do you think we're not tripping out about the demic? Do you think
Yeah.
that? Like, are we?
And
are.
like, get out of here
course we
too
are.
for not
It's
allowing
almost
me.
to me. It's almost cliche at a certain point. Like, of course we're concerned about the demic. Of course we're concerned that people are dying. Like, how could you not?
Just because you see other
How
people
could you
that
not?
maybe may not doesn't mean
Well, that's what I mean.
am.
It's like, do we have to profess that? How could you not be concerned about what's going on in the world? It affects all of us.
Right.
How could you not be affected by that? And to say
Yeah.
that we only think about one thing, it's like, no, we're just,
You can care about that and want to enjoy your life.
Yeah,
you are okay to do that. So for anybody that gives you crap,
we're just not that basic to have to like profess that every
But
day.
for
It's like,
anybody
that's a
who gives
given.
you crap though about that, delete them. Be done with
Yeah.
them. Like, they do not deserve a place in your
Yeah.
life. You are allowed to miss Disneyland and be sad about it and care about it a lot. If
Yeah.
it was a big part of your life and it brought you happiness for so long, so be it.
Well, I also
Delete
feel like,
them.
as far
Say
as
goodbye.
what we're trying to bring to people, why would I bring the obvious to you? Like, oh, like I keep saying it. Of course, we're sad and concerned about this whole thing that's going on. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
You would have to literally be a rock with no conscience to not realize that. And so why would we sit and focus on that and bring you something that you already know? We all know that. And,
let's just keep shooting a dead horse. The horse is dead. It sucks.
Right.
It's sad.
We know.
Let's just
and
not
so we're trying
do
to bring
it.
something else to the table, as
Right.
opposed to the same thing that you're going to hear every single day on
And
every
also,
news channel. We're not
yeah.
going to do that, because it's like, that's
You want that? You got like 18 channels of it.
and I don't think that that's why people watch the content that we provide. I don't think that they watch it to hear the same thing that is being projected out there on many other capable media sources. We are not those people. So
I also too,
anyways.
I want you to feel validated in the fact that, let's just say you woke up one day and you're like, you know what? I'm really having a bad day and all I care about right now is missing Disneyland. Or
Yeah.
all I'm caring about right now is, I'm just really caring right now that the sky and the weather sucks. if that's what's bothering you, sit in that. Feel that it's okay. For all those people on Diz Twitter that are sitting there making you feel bad because you missed Disneyland, they honestly can kick rocks. Goodbye. They don't matter. Like, I'm sorry, but that's a problem that's going on with our society, is we're making people feel bad for sharing their feelings. Like, when did that become okay to say, you know what, you shouldn't be feeling that right now because it's not politically correct? Get out of here. You are okay to feel that way. If somebody says, you know what, all I care about today is that I have to go on a flight, and I have to do it, and it's really bothering me, and for somebody to say, well, how could you, all you care about is that today? Well, I have to dye my hair and I really don't want to, or, oh, you know, I have to, whatever it is. We need to start letting people be okay with feeling. Feelings are not wrong. Feelings are not right.
And don't cancel.
They just are.
And not canceling people for feeling the way they want to feel.
Stop canceling people for.
It's a free country.
If somebody doesn't care about Disneyland, let them not care.
If somebody doesn't like our content and thinks we're selfish, that's
fine.
Completely their.
Not going to bother me at the end of the day.
Fine. And why are you here and watching that?
But like they are just as much of the problem though, because you're shunning people for saying, like on my Instagram, do you know how many times I've like shared about like, dude, I just missed Disneyland today. How dare you?
Right.
You only care about Disneyland. Well, first of all, I don't. But second of all, do you realize how much of a problem that you are, that you're actually creating the actual problem? Because you're teaching and you're gardening, there's a garden culture, and you are pouring water on the garden of negativity because you're telling people that you're not allowed to feel that.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can feel whatever it is you want to feel. It is okay as long as you are not hurting anybody and making them feel bad.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and say you care so much about everybody dying in the hospitals, yet you're making them possibly want to die, because they feel bad about themselves and feel depressed. You're making it worse.
Well, and then consequently from that, making a judgment about those people and saying, oh, you must be one of these people. It's like no, I've told you.
Me.
Yeah, it's like I can be me without getting a very obvious label that is, put in a box, because for people to understand, or to allow other people's way of thinking, that it has to be explained and put in a nice package with a label on it. Otherwise, you don't understand it. It's like, I don't understand how most people think, but I live in a free country where I go, well, that's cool that you're allowed to think that, and good for you. And I hope it works for you, because we all think differently. We all perceive differently. I think that's the one thing to remember is that perception for me and even Katie, we have two completely different ways we perceive things. And to think that Katie perceives it the same way, I could accuse her of like, how could you think that way when it's this? And she's like, well, I don't see it as this.
Yeah, I see it as like what was the conversation we were having the other day? Like, he was telling me, oh, dude, the surf looks big. Right. It's so big. And I was like, why does that matter to me? Like, I don't, what? Like, but I'm not trying to be negative on it. No, it's just it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm looking at it as like, well, we're not going to the beach,
I'm a surfer at heart, and we have a place there, and any kind of thing that's in that area kind of gets my wheels turning and goes, oh, wow, the surf's going to be big.
Completely understandable.
It means a lot of things to me. It means, there's some ways I could enjoy, or some other people are going to enjoy, and it's kind of it's a big deal to me.
It's like you're having a dreaming moment about it where you're happy about something. But see, in my brain, I was looking at it at the mood I was in at the moment. I'm sitting there kind of like, I was irritated about my tooth. I'm sitting there having to look at finances. And I'm sitting there going, why are you talking about the waves right now? We're not even going to the beach. Who cares? Right. But I didn't mean it as a mean thing to him. It's just that that's how I was feeling at the time, and I'm trying to make sense of it. Well, but that doesn't mean that we're not disagreeing. We're just seeing it from two different perspectives.
Deepak Chopra, if you know who Deepak is, he's a kind of a spiritual guide. He's a guy that, he's a great thinker. I even got to meet him. I'm going to name drop. Got to meet him and talk to him one day, and I asked him, hey, Deepak, can I get a little inspiration for me personally today? Like, what do you think? And he looked at me and he says, just have fun. And I thought, wow, he read me right, because I really enjoy having fun in life and try to put it through those channels. But he did say something prolific in a speech, and he says it a lot, about perception and about if there is say there's a dog in the room and the TV's on and the room is set up in a certain way. If you put yourself in that dog's eyes and look through his eyes, you're not going to perceive it the same way. Or maybe a mosquito. You know how mosquitoes have those eyes or bugs have those eyes where they see like multiple.
It's like a net looking thing.
Yeah,
or
you see the same thing like 400 times, or like an eye of a fly or something like that.
Right.
He could be looking at literally the same thing you're looking at, and he's not going to perceive it the same way at all.
Right.
And so I think that's a good way to perceive it, is like humans are just the same way. We could all be looking at the surf.
See, here's somebody right here who said, Spencer, you're comparing losing a family member to losing a season pass at Disney.
No, I'm not.
Wow.
Never.
Absolutely not. Like,
when did I say that? And when did I make that comparison?
Right, and
I'm
that's
allowed to feel
but
both
that's my
ways.
point, though, is that's your choice to look at it like that.
Yeah.
That's how you are choosing to look at it.
I also put things in analogous terms, meaning an analogy. So it doesn't mean literal, it means analogous. So if you're going to focus on what I say as like me making an example of like I said, like seeing it through the eyes of a fly or the eyes of a human, we're looking at the same thing, we're going to perceive it differently. And if you think that I'm saying that literally, then I'm sorry that you perceive that way. And that's your right to perceive that. That's fine if you think that, but I'm not comparing it saying, and I'm not belittling the death of something. I am making an analogy.
But
Look up the word analogy
and
come back to me about that.
The point is, though, is like you gotta look at, everybody's looking at everything differently. And it doesn't mean that, it's just, the whole point is, though, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you're feeling something, they're feeling something. If you're sad, you right there, by saying what that person just said, you're basically saying it's not okay to be sad about an annual pass.
No, because
it is.
No, well, it's also... I hate
be
to
sad
say
about
this,
it all you want.
It's
Cry
a little
about it.
It's a little narrow-minded, and you're allowed to be narrow-minded. I don't think you want to be, but to say that, I'm speaking of loss as a whole, and I'm equating something that, if we talk about loss as human beings, a lot of people will go to the death scenario because that's one of the biggest losses we can experience as human beings. So when we talk about loss and talk about losing things, there's similar threads within that loss. It doesn't mean I say that losing Disneyland is like losing a family member, but that's not what that means, why I say that.
But maybe to somebody it feels that way, though. That's the thing. That's where it doesn't matter. But okay, maybe it doesn't for you. But for little,
you gotta think a little outside the box.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, maybe there's little Tyler, and Tyler does feel like losing Disneyland feels like a piece of his family. That is okay.
Right.
Like, I am here to tell you right now, it is freaking K. If it feels like Disneyland is an essential service to you, it is okay. We need to fight back in a weird way and stop letting people be okay with saying that to you.
Yeah.
Let it go. Tell them to literally kick rocks. Go find a hole and sit in it and come out when you feel better.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, it is okay. Again, I'm going to repeat this for the umpteenth time.
Yeah.
If not being in Disneyland hurts you as much as losing someone, it is okay. Feelings are not wrong or right. They just are.
And sometimes they're just feelings.
Are. They're feelings.
That's all they are.
Doesn't mean you're going to act on it. Doesn't mean you're going to go out like, rioting and doing whatever.
Right.
Are you hurting anybody by saying, like, listen, I'm really sad because I want to go to Disneyland and it hurts me so bad that I don't have an annual pass anymore. Feel that way. It is okay. Yeah. It is okay. And you know what? For somebody to say you're comparing it to somebody dying, fine. It is okay to compare it to somebody dying. If it makes you feel better, it is okay. Again, it is freaking K to be sad about not going to Disneyland.
But you don't need to trivialize things like that. It's
but don't do it to other people, though. Like, you are no better by making somebody not feel okay to express. Is this the culture that we're going to, teach our children and the next generations to do? I want my kid or I want somebody to be able to come up to me and be honest, and tell me, what? This sounds really selfish, but all I want to do right now is just, go to the mall and not go to work. I don't want to do anything. I'd rather you be able to express yourself and me maybe not agree with it. But, why are we shunning people for feeling that way? Right. Why? You want to shun me for wanting to go to Walt Disney World because it makes me feel better? If I'm doing the best I can, then stop.
Yeah,
you don't know that I don't want to kill myself every day, and there's people that are, frankly, they are killing themselves.
Well, what I see happening with all this kind of stuff is people abusing their voice. You know what I mean? It's like, we all have the beauty of having social media now. Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like some people abuse that fact because, like someone just had said, hurt people hurt, and they do. If
Hurt people hurt
if they are
people.
hurt, all they know how to do is go and hurt other people to make themselves feel better and to raise their self-esteem,
And
of
really,
which they don't have.
really say that though. It makes them feel better because
Right.
that's what it does. Misery
Right.
does love company, and it
Right.
really does feel better. So really hold on to what he just said right there.
Yeah, and I think
Hang on to
and I
that.
think that because of social media allowing people to have a voice, it gets misused and it gets abused in the fact that that's where this cancel thing comes from, that anybody can get on Twitter and cancel somebody, and the power that they feel in doing that is only feeding their lack of self-esteem in the big hole that they're never going to be able to fill. And that's the sad part about social media. It should be used for good. It's like having the power, like a superpower, and using it for bad intent. You know, social media is a great thing, and it connects people in great ways, and people of like minds. You can learn things from people that maybe you didn't know before, but to use it in an abusive way,
Yep.
and to attack people and to attack their feelings as if, you know, like I said, it's an abuse of a power.
Right.
The power of your social media.
And don't let them abuse that power.
Yeah,
don't let that
not
be
cool.
okay, because it's not okay.
Yeah.
You need to, if it's a family member, I don't care. If they're making you not feel valid for feeling the way
Yeah.
you feel or shunning you, then be gone with them, because they need to, it's your boundaries. We all need to have boundaries with our lives. Maybe you need to figure out what yours are, but I'll tell you, my boundary is you're not going to tell me that I'm evil for feeling like I miss Disneyland, or comparing it to feeling like a death.
Right.
If it feels like a death to me, then it does. Like, you don't have to like it, you don't have to agree with it, but that's me. I'm not you. You are not me, and that's that. So plain and simple. So be done with that. It does not deserve to it doesn't deserve to belong here, you know. And everybody, not to mention, don't even go into the hypocrisies of some of it too. Like,
Yeah.
half of these people, and I've seen it with my own eyes, but I'm just a bigger person and I'm not going to shout it and blast it on the internet and abuse it, but half of these people making people feel bad, I have seen them at Walt Disney World. So do not go on there and say, you can only believe so much that's on the internet.
And not to mention, we could have easily called those people out.
But why
don't-
would we?
But we don't use our voice for that kind of abuse and to attack people.
Yeah, that makes us no better than what we're preaching
Correct.
for you to do. You do not need to
Correct.
feed that culture. Feed a garden culture of positivity. Ask yourself, how can I feed this garden culture of positivity? Maybe that looks like somebody is on their Instagram story and you're flipping through their stories and you maybe see something that catches your eye. Somebody says, you know what, I'm tired of this. I just feel really upset and I want to go get my nails done. Well, maybe that's considered dangerous, whatever the heck, something you disagree with. Maybe that looks like, hey, do you need to talk? Do you feel okay? Or you go do you, and encourage them to keep sharing about how they feel. Is that really what I want to show Kaylee, my niece? Is that really what I want to teach her? Is that, like, you know what, you're selfish. Frankly, you're just selfish for saying that you feel this way. Like, absolutely not.
Right.
Maybe I don't agree with it. Maybe I don't. But be loving, be open. Like, you know, again, that's I said this, and again, this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But I think that locking everybody up in California is making it worse, because people are purposely kind of just disagreeing and they're feeling more frustrated, more angry. Not only that, but people are I mean, I feel like on the news we're seeing constant numbers of the people dying, which is so heartbreaking as it is. But why aren't we talking about the mental health of people? Why aren't we talking about that? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, like, are we not allowed to, like, to help? Like, tell us how we can encourage somebody who's going through the virus. Like, tell us, give us the tools.
Also,
if you care about us so much, why aren't you giving us the tools to talk to people about
Right.
that? Why aren't you talking to us about how we can understand what somebody might be going through? Do you know how hard it is for somebody who is struggling mentally to talk about it? So God forbid they say one word saying, you know what, I really am sad about my annual pass being gone. that probably took more courage than you can ever imagine for some of these people.
Yeah.
Really. And so why would you go and, make them feel like crap about it? So be there for somebody. Like, it sucks. It's a big blow to their life. And it's okay to be sad about missing an annual pass. It really is okay. It is fine. You feel how you want to feel.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I'm behind on some of these super chats. I apologize. Did you restart your computer?
Yeah, I had to.
Okay.
It froze.
Did it really? I thought it looked normal to me. But
No.
Tristan Lane sends $5 and says, "You guys need to show me how to start my own channel. I'm a frequent Disney park visitor myself." I don't know exactly how to start it, but I would say just, I guess once you start a channel, you just upload your video, but you have to learn how to edit and stuff like that. But there's so many videos out there on YouTube about how to start a channel that people actually specialize in.
They were talking about the technical aspect of it?
That's what I'm understanding. I'm saying for the technical part,
there's a lot of tutorials.
There's a ton of tutorials.
But as far as
there.
the other part of it, it's like I always say to people, find something you love to be a part of and talk about.
And if it is Disney, because I think you alluded to it being Disney,
yeah.
I would say, like Spencer said, find what in Disney you like. So maybe it's
your
just
angle.
The attractions. Maybe you just want to do a lifestyle vlog about it.
Your
and
perspective,
film what
for
you
lack
like.
of a better term, because people like Angela. I remember she had Diz Lights because she was always fascinated with all the lighting at Disneyland. It was a great angle. Things
so
like
think
that.
about it in that respect.
Yes.
Hello, Eli Carlos sends $10 and says, "Everyone needs entertainment in their life, no matter what that may be. We need to escape the stressors of reality. Some go fishing, camping, and some go to Disneyland." Amen. And whatever truly does make you happy, as long as you're not hurting anybody, why would you not encourage other people to be able to do that? Is it really that we think, have we really got to that part of society where it's like, oh, you know what? It's better for everybody else that you just stay home and stare at a wall or stay home. If it's making the difference between you not being depressed and it means like I need to go take a walk in the park or I need to go do this. If you can find a safe way to do that and check all the boxes, by all means go, and don't judge each other for that, because it's true. We all need that. We need it. This world is not perfect.
Yeah, and by the way, let's keep politics or politricks, as I call them, off this channel because it's kind of a joke.
Well, I did talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
so
I know, but people are like specifically referencing certain people and all this, and it's just like, okay, like.
Okay, Miss
that.
Meow Meow sends $5 and says, "I'm going to Walt Disney World and I haven't told anyone because I'm afraid of getting yelled at. I have chronic anxiety and the first time I felt happy." So I think collectively, while there's 1,400 people in there, and I could say probably 90% of us that can agree, let's all practice this and encourage and tell Miss Meow Meows how happy we are and congratulate you on your trip and the first time you felt happy. And I think that's what we want to say. And I'm going to say it on behalf of everybody. Congratulations on booking your trip. And we are going to practice what we preach and water the garden of positivity and take away that negative cancel culture. So you are in a safe place here where we are here to encourage you and tell you congratulations on booking your trip. I think we can all celebrate. I'm glad that I'm celebrating that you are going to feel happy. I am happy that you're going to be happy.
The only thing we're going to yell at you is, woo!
Woo! Best remove them. That's all I have to say about that.
Right.
So on behalf of everybody, I'm sure you can read, if you have your live chat on, please read the comments because I think a lot of people are
and if you
very
start talking
happy
politics,
for
I'm
you.
going to put you on a timeout.
Well, no, you're just going to get blocked.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Either way.
They're going to get blocked. Khalees is sending $5 and says, "First time catching you live. Literally everything you're saying is how I feel. I love you guys and your videos have helped so much for my mental health so much." So Khalees, I want to first of all congratulate you for speaking up about your mental health in front of 1,400 people.
Yes.
Because I know how hard that can be. I know many people that suffer from any kind of mental illness, whether that's anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, PTSD, you name it. I want to congratulate you and thank you for sharing that that's how you feel. And, this is a safe place to feel that way. And we're very thankful for that. I'm glad you're here. Naomi sends $5 and says, thank you for all your videos. I'm a California girl living in the UK. Whoa, that must be interesting. Our Paris trips keep getting canceled. You've made lockdown so much brighter. Thank you. And I'm sorry your trips keep getting canceled, but that only means that better is coming for you. And,
yes.
And congratulations on even making plans to go, because if that makes you happy in any way, we support that. Tatum sends $5, says,
Tatum.
Go off, sis. Could not agree with you more. People need to let others experience a little bit of happiness. I'd go in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. Thank you, Tatum.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
We don't want happiness to be under attack. Sorry.
John sends $2 and says, to Katie, you dropped this. My crown. I love it. You all need your crowns too. Anybody that is having any kind of clarity on this, or is also trying to feed that garden and water the garden of positivity and encouragement to others and supporting mental health in any way, as well as physical health.
Yeah.
You all deserve your crowns too.
Hey, Mr. Soup, DCA Custodial here. Hello. Hey, thank you for what you do, for keeping it so primo over
From
there.
the Custodial Arts Program.
Yes.
Tristan Lane sends $5 and says, you guys need to show... Oh, I got that one. Okay, woohoo. The Emerald Duo Adventure says, apparently there was plans to get rid of AP long before the virus. The pandemic gave the perfect opportunity to ease it out. There you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, hindsight is 2020. Joe Henderson sends $1 and says, hearts. Jay Peralta sends $10 and says, I agree with what you guys are saying. Your content brings joy, and it's not much, but get a churro on me. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Let me see. Dina sends $20. I don't know if I read this or not. Oh, you two kids are amazing. It's okay to be sad about Disneyland. My husband and I were there for our 45th anniversary in October. Wow. We walked through the gate, and my mom and my Nana's spirits were on my arms. Oh, happy times. That's beautiful. Steve Hall sends $5 and says, I'm getting sick of these labels, TBH. The whole Karen thing, people using it has become nastier than women they call Karen now, in my opinion. I completely agree with you. And
yeah, Steve.
I think nobody, I don't care what your name is, if you're treating people like crap in any facet, then you suck.
Yeah, you got weird issues.
Stop using that name, and for half the time people calling that out, not everybody, half the time people calling that stuff out, they're not doing anything about it. What are you really contributing by going on social media and complaining about it and making memes and posting videos? Are you really, tell me something, are you really doing better by posting about it and starting people getting upset about it, or are you having the time to taking the time to have a conversation about it and say, hey, I saw this going on, let's talk about what we could do better in that situation? Or maybe if it's not a vile situation, maybe talk to that person and say, what's going on? Because maybe they are going through something else. You don't know. There are people that are refusing to wear masks, and as much as I don't really agree with it, I have a conversation with them. Some people, it really just makes them really scared, or they feel claustrophobic, or, and that's not to say that everybody's the same, where some people feel they feel whatever differences they feel. But I think having a conversation about it, making people feel comfortable about their decision, I think it's a lot better to have understanding and understand their perspective and where they're coming from, versus making them feel bad. And that's that Karen thing. We're feeding the Karen thing, which
but even calling those people Karen is offensive.
I think so. I think it doesn't make you any better than them.
No.
I think it
because there's a lot of awesome people named Karen out there who are getting ridiculed for just having that name.
Not that anybody should be better than anybody,
just
but doing better. I think we should all be doing better for humanity's sake, not even just for your sake and being liked and loved and admired, but for better for the future generations. Let's look at what could be done differently, as opposed to she threw off her mask and refused to wear it in Trader Joe's. Let's post it on the internet. What did you just do? Did you make that situation any better?
Yeah.
Maybe if it wasn't a violent situation, you could have stepped in and said, hey, let's try to understand where you're coming from. There's so many other different methods, but posting it and calling somebody a name doesn't make you any better.
Right.
It really doesn't. So I completely agree, Steve Hall. I know where you're coming from, and I do not want to feed that. Maybe not everybody will agree with my standpoint on that, but That's the beauty of life. Cameron Marquez sends $5. Thank you. Rami Positive Space sends $5. And the Big Avocado says sends $10 and says many have been furloughed due to the Rona and can't afford a higher premium. Also, with Disney huge line of credit they took out and film production down, they can't ask fans to pay more. The extension promise. Not sure. I mean, that's something that they have to look at. And, you know, maybe it is something for a while where not everybody can afford it, but the people that can will kind of help that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but let's just say that they raise the premium to be something that 75% of people can't afford. Maybe if like it means a year or two of that, the people that can afford it, so then they can eventually lower the price. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's, you know, I don't know. I'm not good with economics or anything like that, but you know, if I had to pay more so it means that it could lower premiums for other people, then I would. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the way we see it. And I know I can speak for Spencer when I say that. Like, I would pay whatever I could to, you know, lower the premium for others if it were possible. Cutie Pie Caden sends $5 and says, love you guys and your content. Been a subscriber and viewer for a long time and also an out-of-state Flex Pass holder. This is crazy news. It sure is, and thank you. But we'll get through it. Gina Walker sends $5 and says, Spence, you and I have the same coffee life, our best coffee life.
That's right.
Wish they would have elaborated on the Max Pass we added on our passes. Yeah, I would love to know the different, or like, what does that, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know more about that too. Gina sends $5 and says, iced coffee on me. Thank you.
Thanks, Gina.
Let's see. Incoming crowds, it can be underway, no year of APs. Oh, I think I got that one. Okay, good. So I think I'm semi-caught up. Amy Ratzloff sends $2 and says, what was your favorite food at Walt Disney World? Satuli Canteen for me.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Over in Pandora.
Oh, my gosh.
That was one of the best meals I ate.
Yeah.
Jay Prata sends $5 and says, your channel brings joy and inspiration. Please keep bringing the smiles and laughs. Love you guys. Love from Arizona.
Nice.
Thank you. We love you too. Brycey Bear sent Bear, I hope I said that right, sends $5 and says, you guys are awesome. How does Disney World work, like buying tickets for the park? So you can either stay at a hotel and then you can get them through like your hotel stay, or you can buy them on AAA or directly through Disney. And then once you make your park pass purchases, before you do that, double check the calendar because it'll tell you if some parks are available or if all of them. And then from there, you'll go on and select the day's reservations for which one you want to do. Now, if you paid for a park hopper option, you would at that time select that different park from there. We haven't done that yet, so I don't know exactly how the park hopping option works, but I do know you do have to make reservations through the Disneyland site once you've purchased your tickets. Say you bought them from AAA. AAA will send you an email within an hour and it'll give you a voucher code. So you would add that voucher code in and it'll say, okay, you bought a 5-day park pass, and then it'll let you select the days and it'll just link it. So I hope that brings some clarity there. It's a little confusing, but once you get it, you get it. Devin sends $5 and says, I love you guys and your opinions so much. I've gone to Disneyland since I was a baby and it was my only escape. Thank you for your voices. Well, thank you for your voice and viewing our channel.
Rich Solis, he was asking what size hat I wear. I'm a 7 3/4. I have a giant head.
He's a big head.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. Daryl L sends $5 and says, hi from Australia. Well, hello. When we can actually get back to the USA, we would like to buy you a coffee or churro in person. Keep up the fun vlogs. We would love that. Even if you don't buy us anything, we would just love to see you.
I got that one, Matt. Thank you, buddy.
Iris sends $25 and says, on your next Walt Disney World trip, would love to see Patrick make an appearance and make a toast with you. Katie at Raglan Road at Disney Springs. Oh, you just never know with that guy. Jacob sends $5 and says, if people give you crap on social media for simply expressing how you feel, you best remove them.
Yes.
Love you guys. I think Adam would agree with that. Bex, what?
Sorry, JJ King said double live this week. I missed yesterday's. Did the hairball get cleared? Yes, that was a tough.
Oh boy,
that was close. JJ.
It was. Beck Sweeney sends $5 and says, "My 3-year-old Beverly is your biggest fan. We are both so sad we haven't been able to go to Disneyland in almost a year. Thank you for your content." Well, hello to Beverly. I love that name. Terry Robin, but not the actual drink. But it's spelled different. So
okay, good.
Terry sends $10 and says, "I'm so thankful for y'all on your Disney World trip. You, Dylan, and Adam have made my recovery so much better. Stay positive and keep being you." Thank you, Terry. We love to hear that.
And Adam's in here. What's up, Adam?
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Adam, did you enjoy my rant? Cameron Marquez sends $5 and says, "Thank you for everything you do." Well, thank you. Elizabeth sends $10 and says, "We ran into Spencer Monday night, and what you said, Katie, is why we were there." Good. I am so happy to hear that. We had a super stressful weekend, and we needed the happiness of walking in the park in downtown Disney to find that positivity. God bless you for that. That's amazing. E.G. Huber sends $5 and says, "Don't pay attention to the haters and virtue signalers and hypocrites. They will never be happy and are not deserving of your time and energy." Yeah, not their negativity. If they want to turn their leaf or they want to talk to you or, whatever it may be, it's very difficult to do that. But I've had it multiple times where someone has, messaged me and I happened to open the DM and they were giving me crap and I said, "What's exactly bothering you right now?" "Well, this is bothering me because of this." "Okay, so how is what I'm doing affecting you?" "Well, it affects me because of this." Have that conversation. By the end of the time, 9 times out of 10, we're both happy and we're good. But they also have the freedom to just not watch, don't look. I'm not hurting you. So, it just depends. But, I get it. So.
But the real reason we've done this live stream is to talk about the fact that the annual passes have been pretty much eliminated here in Cali. So.
And that's part of the whole positivity thing is that
Yes.
It is very difficult. This is challenging news, and we want you guys to feel valid in how you feel because it sucks. But then on the bright side, we're getting the ball rolling. This is better to have an answer and know what's going on with the annual passes than to not. And maybe, I'm thinking that now that I really thought about it, maybe this means annual passes at Walt Disney World can resume because they had to, tell us what was going on with the Premier Pass before you can make that big announcement. So maybe this is a really good thing. Like this is the bright side of it. So again, this all the positivity talk though, and mental health is all about just feeling valid and being upset. Alex sends $5 and says, "I'm a former jungle skipper. Remember Walt's speech, Disney is a source of joy and inspiration to all the world. Disney is so important." That is so true. Beverage Napkin sends $20 and says, "Disney otaku for life." I don't know if I said that right, but I love it. Angie in Wonderland sends $50 and says, "Just got back from Tahoe." Oh, I love that because I was in a mental funk. I grabbed my computer while I was able to still teach while looking at beautiful mountains and trees. I feel great, and the kiddos enjoyed looking at the beautiful trees in my background. Congratulations. I love
Angie.
I love to hear that.
That's inspiring.
That is fantastic. I mean, Tahoe was a great escape for us. I think it really, was awesome. Just arriving now. Have they said it is temporary? They haven't said that it was temporary. They didn't say it was permanent. So we kind of don't know what's going to happen. It very well could be something that is permanent. It might not. So I think they're in the process of that's why I said this might be a good thing because maybe they're trying to figure out like, oh, okay, we're going to start reopening, but this is how we do it. So I think it's just, I think they just have to figure stuff out. It sounds like instead of just ignoring it, because really what could we do a while ago?
Oh,
like
Lady Bugger Jen's here. Hi, Lady Bugger Jen.
We really couldn't do much. Hi, Jen. Now we're kind of like, okay, maybe they have, like, maybe because the whole vaccine is starting, they're like, okay, dude, we got to figure something out now. So it's a good thing. Nobody can predict the future, Matt. That's exactly true. Like, we don't know. Can they build a monorail to Disney, Hollywood, MGM Studios, and Animal Kingdom? That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
But, I mean, who knows? It could happen. EG sends $5 and says maybe Disneyland AP will be replaced with a new program with magic bands. Keep sharing the joy. Hey, what if that happened? Like, what if it's some different magic band program?
Yeah, what if it's something
I
better?
I never thought a magic band thing could be a Disneyland thing, but hey, you just never know.
Yeah.
I mean, we never would have thought Disneyland would be closed this long, so you know, anything is possible. So I just think we are on the road to getting opened up, even though it doesn't seem like it. It really doesn't. When they say, oh, we're getting rid of annual passes, I think that means Disney in general, and I do think this affects Florida. I think that this means we're getting ready to take the next step.
Yeah.
With maybe annual passes at Walt Disney World going back on sale, and possibly figuring out a strategy to open based on capacity, need, and whatnot. That's why they've been doing all those surveys. So I really think that although it sucks to have to lose something, I do think we're getting there. I think it means good stuff is happening.
For sure.
So you're telling me there's a chance. What's all that 1 in a million talk?
Does anybody know what movie that's from?
Yeah, if you win, if you can think of the movie.
You win our admiration
high
and
five.
respect. And a virtual high five.
So yeah, I do think, I do think Dumb and Dumber.
There you go. Meg Lee got it. Meg Lee.
High five. A lot of you got it, actually. But the point is, though, I do think we're on the road to recovery. We're on the road. I would rather the bad news and know what's going on versus being in that slump of not knowing what's
going on. And then a classy yellow says, big change is just hard, though. It is. It's like a growing pain. Change is always difficult, but I can tell you that is the one constant in this universe, in our three-dimensional universe. Change is a constant, and so it's something that we should, try to kind of be good with, because, and I'm not good with change, so I speak from a personal standpoint of like, I suck at it, and so I'm saying that just to myself,
Yeah, Kicking It with Mom says, my heart is broken and my youngest daughter is crying. You are completely, you're not alone in that sentiment. I cried a little bit, to be honest with you, because regardless, we're still losing something. Like, there still is loss, no matter how. Yeah, no matter how.
Because we all have such fond memories of that thing, and such an attachment to the positivity that it brings.
Right.
And I think we have a feeling that we're not going to get that positivity again, or that thing that we got out of that, that we so hold dear to our hearts. We feel like it's been taken from us, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to have that feeling again, that something else